Here are my gluten-free vegan tortillas made with cassava flour. These are gluten-free, they're vegan. So all of you that are vegan and are looking for a gluten-free tortilla that doesn't have a bunch of ingredients, this one is for you. This is not a low-carb recipe. So I'm just showing you the ingredients that I'm using. Cassava flour. I got mine at the local Publix, but I'm sure you can get this online as well. Coconut flour, xanthan gum, some shortening, and this one is a vegan shortening. The brand is Spectrum. So, and some water. You're also going to need some salt. So it's not a lot of ingredients, and it really is a great way to take advantage of a gluten-free option that does not have like a lot of different preservatives and things. So all I did was I put all of the dry ingredients in the bowl, and I added the shortening, and with my hands, with my fingers, I'm just combining or integrating the shortening into the dry ingredients. So you want to get like a crumble looking kind of mixture there, almost like when you're doing like pie dough and you put in the butter and you cut it in, or like for a biscuit. So it's gonna look kind of like that. Once you have that, then you want to add your water. And the water, you don't want to add it all at once because sometimes you're going to need a little bit less or a little bit more. So just add like half of the water. And then again, with your fingers, make sure you have clean hands, everyone. You're just going to keep going there. So I could tell I needed more water. And so it's going to start coming together like a dough. It is going to be a little sticky and rough feeling on your hands at the beginning, but again, it's very similar to pie dough. So as you can see, I'm using a good amount of strength there just to combine everything. And you want to get it to the consistency where you can actually make a ball of dough out of it. So you see I needed more water, so I just went and got some more and added about another tablespoon and just kept on kneading the dough until it gets to the point that you want it to be. And you're going to want to let it rest a little bit once you actually have the dough ball. And the water's room temperature. It doesn't have to be cold or warm. It doesn't really affect it. So you can see it's already coming together. And here, what I did was I felt that it was to the right consistency where it's not sticking too much or at all, actually, when I press my fingers into it. So it's just like a ball of dough. So I'm just going to want to incorporate it a little bit more, kind of knead it to get it more uniform. And all I did was I put a couple of teaspoons of coconut flour on the surface of my counter and just kneaded it a little bit just to kind of make it more uniform. And so you're going to gauge, if you see that it starts sticking again, then you need a little bit more coconut flour, but you don't want to overdo it with the coconut flour because you don't want these to be too dry. And so here it almost felt like I needed a little bit more. So I put it on my hands, sprinkled it over my hands, and then I handled the dough that way. And so I just kind of put it into a disc, or it could just be a ball, and you can see that it finally came together. And you are going to want to let this rest a little bit. Either put it back on your bowl, inside your bowl, and cover it with plastic wrap, or just put it, just leave it on the counter inside the bowl for a little while, just to let everything come together. Now, if you don't have the shortening that's vegan, you're welcome to try other things. You're welcome to try butter or coconut oil. I haven't tried it, but this vegan brand, which is called Spectrum, is a really good one so far. So all I'm doing now is I'm going to just portion the dough into equal parts. Almost looked like a golf size ball. So I got it in my hand, as you could see, and I just kind of rolled it out. And I have 2 pieces of parchment paper, one for the bottom and one to put on top of it, and I have my rolling pin. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll out the dough as thin as possible, like turning your dough around inside the parchment paper. And I mean, these are gonna be rustic looking because they're homemade. You can always, after you have them as thin as you like, you can always cut them out, use a cutter. I like the rustic look in these, so it doesn't matter to me. And it gives me more surface space too to put my goodies in there. So you want to get these as thin as possible. Kind of like how I have them here. And you should be able to peel it away from the parchment paper without any issues. And you can make them as thick as you like, and then they'd be more like a naan, or N-A-A-N. So, but you know, I like to go as thin as possible. So about probably 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. And if you think they're not thin enough, you can just put the paper right back on top and continue to roll them out and make them thinner. You can see here, I got a good, decent size. That almost looks like a square. It doesn't matter. They're all gonna be different shapes and sizes. So all you're really gonna need to cook these are gonna cook pretty quickly. I'm sorry about the lighting here on the camera. I'm using a cast iron skillet, which is my preference. And you can see the pan is dry. There's no fat or anything in the pan. So you're just gonna put it at like a medium heat. Let it come up to good medium heat. And once you're ready, you're just gonna go ahead and handle your tortilla carefully. But these are pretty good. They stay together pretty good. And just put it on the pan. And you're not gonna wanna walk away from them. You're really gonna wanna just make sure you're in front of them at all times because they can burn very quickly, especially if you're using a cast iron skillet. So you're gonna start seeing like little bubbles form once that side of the tortilla starts cooking. And that's when you're gonna know to flip it. And for me, the first one, just like with a pancake, for some reason, the first one is different than the rest of them. I think maybe I just don't give it enough time for the pan to heat up enough, so that happens. But once you see the bubbles, you can see here I already turned it. I flipped it over on the other side. You can see my heat is on a little bit more than medium. And look at that. Look at those golden spots. Just like a regular tortilla. And these are gonna go pretty quickly. You see those bubbles that form? That's what you're looking for. Now the color of these is gonna be a little different. Not gonna be as white as the flour tortillas, obviously, because there's no flour in them. But they are going to be very, very similar. And the texture is on point. Here's another one. I'm just showing you another one that I rolled out, and I'm gonna put it on the skillet. By this time, the heat was the pan was hotter, so it went quicker. And you can see how easy it is to peel off the parchment paper. You really need parchment paper to be able to do this. And I just used the same 2 sheets of parchment paper. I went back and rolled it, so I didn't need to really use just 2 sheets for all of the tortillas. And I am gonna put all of the ingredients that you're gonna need and the recipe below the video under the description box, like I always do, so you guys know what you need. But these are phenomenal, you guys. You're gonna see here in a moment that you know, basically you can use these for anything. I mean, I like to just use them as wraps, just like regular wraps. You can use them for like your chicken or pulled pork. If you're not vegan, obviously, pulled pork, or, you know, whatever. You can use them for breakfast. I like using them for breakfast sandwiches as well, like little breakfast wraps. You can do just all veggies, and they really, really have that bite, that texture that the regular flour tortillas have. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I know I haven't made videos in a while, but I'm getting my game up again, and hopefully we'll be able to do weekly videos again. So please subscribe so you can take advantage of my videos and recipes. I also do low carb. You can see here how the final product, and even I put them in the fridge. I put them in the fridge to store them, and you can see how beautiful they are. Enjoy.